Hi everybody and welcome to the Metta channel. My name is Peter Kellett and I am a spiritually oriented men's coach and an expert on men's health and well-being with a particular expertise in men's mental health. In this channel feature, which I call Music with a Message, I react to videos and to explore the deeper messages and lessons that we can take away from that particular piece of music. Today we're going to take on a real blockbuster of a song, and it's Hi Ren by Ren. This song has been out for over 9 months at the time of recording this reaction and has been viewed by over 20 million people. And I think that there are good reasons for that. Certainly the first time I saw this video, I felt very emotional. I felt chills, because it was such a powerful message. And so today we're going to explore this video together, and we're going to look at some of the deeper spiritual messages and life lessons that we can take away from this amazing song. So without further ado, we'll start watching Hi Ren, and I'll stop occasionally and make some comments.
It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down you know that. Deep down you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me.
Hi Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill.
Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy.
Clearly what is happening in this video is that Ren is having a conversation with his subconscious. More specifically, Ren is having a conversation with his shadow self, or his inner critic. And this is a concept that has been explored over a long time. Certainly Carl Jung, the psychoanalyst, brought forward the idea of the shadow persona. And the shadow persona is developed in response to experiences we have, sometimes traumas we've been through, and usually they are created as a way of protecting us. And so a lot of our shadow personas take on a voice of an inner critic, one that is driven by fear, one that is limiting us and telling us not to be all that we can be. And certainly this has also been fed sometimes by our socialization as we're growing up, and the messages we've received from our families and from our communities, that we're told that we need to keep ourselves under control and to present the way everybody wants us to present. Now, the shadow is very often representing a voice of uncertainty and fear. And in This first part of the video, Ren is making reference also to the fact that he went through a pretty rough time and is still continuing to go through a bit of a rough time with his health. Well, starting from when he was 17, he started to get sick, and he was misdiagnosed and nobody knew what was happening. And he was misdiagnosed as having bipolar disorder and psychosis. And he was going through pain and suffering and mental distress throughout this time. Eventually, he was diagnosed with Lyme disease, which is a really tough condition to have and very hard to treat. And he's still undergoing treatment for Lyme disease today in Calgary, in Canada.
Nah, mate, this time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help.
You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one, so you see. You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Wow, your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere.
Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in.
Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget.
What we see in this section is the real importance of purpose in life. Ren is talking back to his shadow self and telling him that I'm doing quite well, my music's doing well. And the shadow self, the inner critic, is telling him, oh, you're not doing that great. Like, where are your Grammys? Where are your interviews with Oprah? How do you know you're being successful? And Ren is basically putting forward the idea that he's not valuing his success based on these egoic assessments of success, like where he stands in the charts, or how much he's getting listened to on the radio, or how much money he's making. He is glad that his music is connecting with people and that he's able to express himself in the world. And the inner critic is just continuing that process of trying to tear him down and say, you're not that big a deal, don't be so delusional. And I think we all can identify with this kind of inner dialogue, where a lot of times we are afraid to step into our full power, step into our full ability to be creative and share our perspectives, because we're afraid that somebody is going to be upset by that.
Trust me.
You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it.
Man, it's not like that.
Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat.
No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong.
Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it.
Played on guitar.
Plan B did it.
Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material.
Ren, mate, we've heard it all before.
She sells seashells on the seashore.
So here the inner critic goes into a familiar pattern of saying, there's nothing special about you, there's nothing original about you. We've heard all these things before. But the truth is, in life, everything's a remix. Nothing is entirely brand new. And so that shouldn't stop us from being creative and sharing our perspective. It doesn't always have to be entirely unique or entirely different or never been done before for it to be worthwhile. And just keep that in mind when you're engaging with life and you're thinking, oh, my idea is not that special, someone else came up with it. Everybody's idea is somebody came up with it before. It's best not to assess our worth based on novelty.
on guitar.
Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. When, mate, we've heard it all before.
She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves. And I'll shake up the whole world beneath us.
That's right, speak your truth, your fucking God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to ask for you, say it instead of downplay it.
Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus. Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren.
Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren.
I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside.
Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mephistopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender. When standing in front of my solar eclipse, my name is stitched to your lips. So you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal, feeble and normal. You wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend.
So here Ren brings in the idea of the devil. Now, I think this representation of the devil as being part of the inner critic is really not meant to be an objective statement that the inner critic is the devil per se. It's rather that the devil represents the negative pole in life, the darkness, the fear, the uncertainty, the constriction that makes us smaller. And this is very consistent with the ideas that an author called Napoleon Hill talked about in his book in the 1930s. The idea is that the devil is ultimately all those negative things in life which keep us from getting where we need to go, keep us from being productive, keep us from sharing our light as individuals in the world. And so the opposite of that, of course, would be God, which is about love and hope and possibility, infinite possibilities. And so it makes sense that the inner critic is taking on the persona of the devil, because the inner critic is also trying to keep us smaller. It's trying to limit us. And certainly it was probably there to try and keep us safe in some way because of our past experiences, but the end result is the same. It's fighting Ren, keeping him from stepping into his sovereignty.
Taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that make to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a coin to different side.
So this section always gives me chills when I watch it. It's incredibly powerful. Ren starts off by saying that he's spent some time with himself, that he's been taking some time to be still. And really, this is the path to all of us achieving our full potential as individuals. It's taking the time to be still and notice and learn to love ourselves. And really, what he's talking about here is embracing the positive pole of life that's associated with God, Source, infinite potential, and stepping into his sovereignty. And he symbolizes this by standing up and saying that he's standing up against these words that are trying to keep him down. And that he is making a unique contribution. He's basically a fractal of the divine. And so many of us limit ourselves. We think that we're not that special. We think that we don't have something to bring to the world. But we each bring some amazing quality or qualities that when we embrace them and embrace our full sovereignty and embrace our full potential, we can make huge impact on the world. We don't have to be good at everything. We have our own mission that we have in our lifetime. And that's how we can make a difference. And Ren is talking about his mission as sharing his music. For some of us, it will be other things. Some of us will be sharing ideas. Some of it will be sharing our time, sharing our creativity in some other way. And so this is a really powerful statement about embracing who you are, getting in touch with yourself, and standing against the negativity and fighting against that negative voice in your head that is trying to keep you from being your fullest potential.
When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax, and I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
So there was so much in this last speech, the soliloquy that Ren gives. He talks about the fact that there's no winning or losing in psychological warfare. And really, when we look at life in general, there's no winning or losing at life per se. Life just is. And we sometimes like to think of it like a game that you can win. But in reality, it's an infinite game, as Simon Sinek would say. All we can do is start to contribute towards our purpose, our contribution to the world. And some days are going to be hard, and some days are going to be wonderful. And really, essentially, this is the pattern of life. It's the cycles that play out in that we face challenge, we overcome the obstacles, we learn from it, and then we go back into the cycle again. And really, this is a theme that comes up again and again in so many different philosophical works. And certainly, if anybody's familiar with Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, he talks a lot about this kind of cycle. It's not a single cycle in life. It's multiple cycles. We keep going through challenge, overcoming, and things going well, and then again, things being torn down again, facing challenge, and going through the cycle again. Likewise, people who have studied the tarot will know that the tarot is basically all about these cycles in life. And even when we think about the seasons that we deal with, we go through new birth of spring and the good times of summer, the death in the fall and the autumn, and the rest of winter before being reborn again. And so Ren goes on to talk about the positive and negative aspects of life, the dark and the light, and the pendulum swinging from dark to light. What is considered dark and what is considered light is based on the values that we assign to it. Because even a bad experience can be an immense learning experience and can have value. Even having something fall apart can be positive if it leads to something new and better in our life. A lot of the pain that we experience in life is hanging on to the idea that if things are really good, we can't let it go. We cling to that. Or if we want to avoid pain and suffering, so we have aversion to that, and we try and avoid it at all cost. One of the biggest challenges when people experience joy and happiness is that they are scared to death they're going to lose it. Sometimes to the point where they're not even willing to acknowledge that they're happy because they're afraid someone's going to take it away from them. But we have to remember that it is always a pendulum swinging from side to side. And the good part of that is that if you're in pain, it's not going to be forever. It's temporary. But we also have to remember that when things are wonderful, it's not going to be forever, but we need to enjoy it while it's there. And this is why being present in the moment is really important. Ren also talks about the fact that the more intensely the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. And this is also a very key thing to consider. We only know light because we've experienced dark. And dark is created in relationship to light as well. And we can't experience joy if we don't know what things are not joyful. And we can't experience melancholy and sadness unless we know what happiness is. But this is the full range of human experience. And I think that's one of the things that Ren is alluding to at the end, where he says we cannot forget that we are human beings. Because it is the human experience to live this range of experiences and emotions. And in many ways, as hard as it is, as hard as that cycle is, that's the beauty of being a human being. And he talks about it being an eternal dance. And it really is. It's this idea of moving and coping with the different conditions we're facing. It is a dance. And he said the more rigid I became, the harder it got. Again, it's that idea of clinging. If we're clinging to something or have aversion to something, we're trying to impose a certain vision on things, then it's going to make life harder. Whereas if we take the position of rolling with it, if we enter the flow state, what Taoists refer to as Wu Wei, flowing with the challenges, rising and falling with the positives and the negatives, recognizing that things will always change, like a boat on the ocean. We might be at the bottom of the wave one moment and the top of the wave the next. So the more rigidly we hang on to our beliefs, the harder it's going to be. And then I think that the other key message here is that we have to be kind to ourselves. We have to acknowledge that, yeah, sometimes things are difficult. And that we can curse ourselves for the choices we make, but it doesn't really help us. All we can do is learn from that as we learn through the cycles of things. It is not failure. It is not difficulty that defines us. It is how we respond to that and how we learn from that. And that is the beauty of life. And that is how we grow, and that is how we spiritually evolve. Anyway, I hope that you found some of my commentary on this useful. I would love to hear your thoughts. Smash that like button or hit subscribe. There'll be more videos coming. And leave your comments at the bottom and let me know what you think. The other things is I'm going to leave a link to the fundraiser for Ren to help cover his medical costs, if anybody wants to contribute to that. And shout out to Ren for all the amazing music he's creating. I'm privileged to listen to it and get a chance to comment on it. So love and light to you all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider smashing that like button or hitting subscribe to support our channel. If you would like to stay up on all things Metaman, go to metaman.com and join our free community.